Yeah, not one vehicle, civilian vehicle on the parkway right now around the Art Museum because of what happened last night. Police are still looking for the gunman or gunmen after two police officers were shot near the fireworks show there on the Ben Franklin Parkway. Just off, if you're looking at the Art Museum, it looked like it happened right over by the Rocky statue just off to the right. People were running for their lives.
The cops are saying get out the park right now.
And people were trying to get out. So this happened just right after Jason Derulo's performance. So this would have been in the 9 o'clock hour. And the fireworks had just started. A massive police presence. In fact, there's still a big presence out there this morning. So like I said, this is probably like the 2500 block of Spring Garden Street. Not too far from where they have the Ferris wheel up there. I'd say it's really close to where the Rocky statue is there over by the Oval. So Joe Sullivan, you know him from the show here quite a bit, a former deputy Philly police commissioner is with us. So how will they figure out where the bullets came from?
Well, that's going to be a daunting task.
Yeah.
That's why they're out there now, and I know they're getting support from the FBI and the ATF, and they'll try to look for any other projectiles that might have struck to see if they can find the trajectory of the bullet and to tell them what direction it came from. That might not happen. That might not be possible. That's why they're also pulling every piece of video they can and asking for the public's help. If you have audio or video of this incident, and audio will be difficult because I have no doubt the shooter timed his or her actions to coincide with the fireworks to cover up what they were doing. So
interesting point.
Yes.
Yeah. And I'm sure the police commissioner and other authorities are, because thank God both officers survived. You know, they're going through the interview process probably last night and this morning to ask the officers, did they even see this coming? You know what I mean? Apparently they couldn't hear anything because of the fireworks. Were they approached, or did these bullets come from far off?
I mean, it appears at this time that they were struck and they have no more idea where the bullets came from than anyone else. I mean, and that just adds to the chaos and confusion of the scene, because now you're trying to communicate with the public through the emergency notification procedures, and you can't do it by audio. You have to do it by social media, and that just results in the confusion that you see. It
was interesting because you could tell that there was no communication between the police and the people that were shooting off the fireworks, which is probably way behind the museum down there by the waterworks and stuff like that. Because you could have radioed to them and said, shut off the fireworks so we can make an announcement. But that never happened. The whole show went on till its finale.
Well, one of the things you have to realize is that once those fireworks go into the tube and they're charged,
they're going off.
They're going off. And during those few minutes, I can tell you that you can't even hear police radio. So on top of that, you have multiple officers trying to transmit at the same time. You have officers that are trying to move westbound towards the sound of the gunshots or for the information they're getting from civilians. But at the same time, you have a wall of people coming towards you. So it's the worst possible scenario that you could imagine.
Should we run?
Yes. Well, you should follow the directions that you're given when you see a police officer. And I know officers were telling people to move away and to move in an eastbound direction. So, you know, that's really all you can do at that moment.
And that's what everybody did. They ran down the parkway. They were running down by the Whole Foods and Spring Garden, any possible street to get out of there. Let's put up the picture of the bullet and the officer's hat. Have you ever seen anything like that?
No, I have not. And
so we believe that was one of the bullets that was shot, and it landed lodged in this officer's hat. Now, also, you see the picture, the bloody picture there. That's the officer's blood from last night. He kept a picture of a fallen officer in his hat as protection, and apparently that officer is an angel for the officer that is alive this morning. This came a millimeter or two away from killing him.
Well, that's actually Father Steve, who was the chaplain for the Fraternal Order of Police. A great man, always there for every member of the department and the public.
Yeah.
And the officer was part of his escort detail. So Father Steve was still keeping everyone safe.
Sure. So how does that happen? Does that mean that bullet came from way far away and it slowed down as it hit his hat?
I mean, the bullet does not appear to be deformed, but it obviously
not busted that much.
Yeah, so that would seem to indicate that it may have traveled a distance, or that it passed through other items before going through the officer's hat, and it lost a considerable amount of speed. But again, they're going to recreate that scene and utilize a mannequin or some similar way of just going back to the exact spot where that officer was standing or sitting and was positioned that hat to try to determine what the trajectory was.
I mean, this close. And the other officer is from Montgomery County, is that right?
But yeah, Montgomery County Bomb Squad.
Bomb Squad. Okay. Well, thank you.
My pleasure.
For coming in. All right, it is 7:39 almost. So we've got to move on to other stories, and we'll do that after this.